Welcome to this video tutorial on Deere production orders. A production order defines the finished good to be produced, the location where production will take place, the date and time of production, and the number of components and resources required. A production order also defines the sequence of operations to be performed and the cost of the finished good. There are 4 stages of a production order in Deere: planning, release, work in progress, and complete. Before creating a new production order, Deere allows you to customize the production process settings. Parts of the production process can be set to either manual or automatic. This can be configured in Settings, General Settings, Production Process Customization. When the purchase order replenishment is set to automatic, a purchase order will be automatically generated for the out-of-stock components when the production order is released. When the stock transfer and purchase order are set to manual, they'll need to both be created manually for the out-of-stock components. When the setting Create Production Order is set to Smart Reordering, all production orders will need to be created manually. When set to When Order is Authorized, the production order and the orders for semi-finished components will automatically be created. Note that assembly orders will not be generated for semi-finished components with assembly bill of materials. These must be raised manually. All automatically created production orders can be created in one of the following 3 statuses: draft, planned, and released. The last setting defines the quantity that should be produced in the created production order. There are 3 options: simply produce the quantity required, produce the quantity required and maintain minimum stock level quantities, and produce the difference between the available quantity and the quantity required to cover a shortage. Production orders can only be created for products with a production bill of materials in 2 ways: manually and through a sales order. In this demonstration, we'll create a production order manually by navigating to Production, Add New Production Order. In the production order page, fill in the required document header fields. These include SKU, product name, shop floor location, work in progress account, finished goods account, and quantity. Note, you can map the work in progress and finished good accounts in the account mapping page by navigating to Settings, Reference Books, Financial, and Account Mapping. This will allow the accounts to be automatically selected when creating a new production order. By clicking the Update button, the system will calculate the maximum quantity that can be produced from the available components in stock. Next, select whether capacity calculations will take place from plan date forward or from required by date backwards. Once selected, the release date can be calculated and filled in automatically from the capacity calculations. The next step is to specify the components for the production order. You can do this simply by clicking the Load Production Bill of Materials button. The Production Order tab displays the production bill of materials for the finished good you are about to produce in Deere. After the bill of material is loaded, the quantities of resources and components in the production order can be edited, including adding or removing components and resources. Once you're satisfied with your production order, click Authorize, which will progress your order to the planned status. Note that in the planning stage, cost for components will be estimated using average costs. However, when the order is completed, the picked component costs will be used in accordance to their costing method. If the production process settings are set to automatic, then the related purchase and transfer orders will be triggered by the system after you hit the release button. In this case, follow the hyperlinks on the bottom right, or via the Related Orders tab to complete the purchases and transfers. Once stock is available, you'll be able to revert back to the production order and continue the process. The production order can be split into several production runs. A production run is a batch run for the production order. When the production order manufacturing takes a lot of time, or a lot of items should be produced, it is recommended to split the order to smaller parts for better production management and control. Click on the Production Run button, and in the new window, click on the Production Run again to be able to fill in the quantity needing to be produced. If you do not need to split the order, you can make one production run for the entire order quantity. Once an order is released, the Production Run tab becomes visible. Select the Production Run tab to begin. All the operations will be displayed on the left-hand side of the screen in the sequence they were created in the bill of materials. Click Auto Pick to issue components from your inventory automatically, or Scan to add items to the operation using a barcode scanner. Note that it is possible to add components and resources or change existing components and resources at this stage. Press Start to begin the operation. This changes the production order status to Work in Progress and autofills the start date for the production run. This also executes accounting transactions. The cost of operations, for example, are moved from your inventory account and into your Work in Progress account. The Suspend button can be used to stop operation for any reason. In the new window, you'll need to choose the suspension reason that you created previously in your production settings. The Resume button will start the operation from where you left, and the system will continue calculating the time until the Complete button is selected. The time will be displayed in the actual time field. The actual time is important because the cost of the operation will be calculated according to it. Once the operation is completed, click the Complete button. You can also edit the actual time after you've completed the operation. The permissions for users to be able to edit the actual time after completion can be granted or restricted by navigating to Settings, Users and Roles, Production, and Edit Completed Operations. The actual time field has an automatic conversion from seconds to minutes and hours. For example, if I type 200 seconds, the system will convert it into 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, the next operation in the sequence has become available to carry out and complete. There are two ways to complete a production order: by completing all the operations for each of the production runs, or by clicking Mark as Complete, which denotes an early completion. Production orders can also be stopped by pressing Undo or Void if needed. When all operations in the production run are complete, the Put Away action becomes available. Put Away is the process of taking products from the production location and putting them into the most appropriate location. For example, a retail or storage location, or a shop floor if needed in further production. By clicking on the Put Away tab, a new page will appear where you'll be able to enter the date received, and then either copy from the production run or press Add Line to add the finished goods produced. Select a Put Away location, noting that by default the shop floor location is selected, but you can choose any bin or location created in the account. If needed, at this stage, you can amend the actual yield in the quantity field, and then click Complete. If the yield is more or less than the quantity in the production run, a pop-up window will notify you of this, and you'll need to approve it before proceeding. The Manual Journal tab allows you to add additional expenses to the production order, which will be posted to your general ledger. The value of each journal will be distributed to the total cost of the finished goods. The Transaction tab will reflect all the transaction operations that have occurred in the production order. And finally, by scrolling up to the top, you'll be able to access the Print button to print any of the documents listed in the drop-down menu. And that concludes this video.